Well, I'm checking to check out. So it's been a few days now since we watched Canelo versus Caleb Plant fight, and something don't sit right with me. Something don't sit right with me at all about that fight because the thing what a lot of people don't seem to realize is that a lot of sports are rigged. Okay, a lot of sports are rigged, and if you know anything about gematria, go follow Zachary K Hubbard. Okay, go follow Zachary K Hubbard. He's got a YouTube channel called Gematria Effect Sports, and he's got another channel called um, Gematria Effect News 23 and 24. Anyway, he's got a Patreon, right, and he breaks down a lot of the NFL and NBA games, and he breaks them down, and he gets the results right nearly all the time because sports are rigged. Okay. He also predicted that he doesn't really do too much on boxing or other sports, but he did predict that before I found out about his channel. He did predict the Fury and Wilder two. He predicted that Wilder was going to lose. He brought that down. He brought down how that was rigged. But anyway, he breaks down how a lot of sports are rigged. Sports are rigged in general. And boxing, come on now. If you watch boxing, right, you know how corrupt boxing is. Okay. So if we know people already take dives in boxing, you know, all you gotta do is look at Canelo's scorecards. In most of his fights, he's always up somehow. Just other stuff as well. We know we know it's rigged. We know a lot of stuff in sports are rigged, and the same goes for boxing. So what makes you think that the Caleb Plant fight, it wasn't rigged? Because the way I think of it now, I think it was, because obviously Canelo was the overwhelming favorite. Okay, it was like, I don't know what, it was stupid money anyway. It was like one. It was like 1 to 12 or 1 to 15 on. So let's say you put a pound down and you get like 20, 23p back or so. I don't know. I don't know what it was. It's just ridiculous. You wouldn't get any. You wouldn't get any money back really. You would have to bet something like 50 grand just to get, I don't know, some small ass little profit. But would it even make sense to bet anyway? But it was such an overwhelming favourite. He is the darling. He's the darling of boxing right now. He's the WBC's favourite. Okay, and all you gotta do is watch the fight. Just watch the fight. Canelo was made to look stupid for the majority of the fight. Okay, he was made to look fucking stupid. I haven't seen Canelo look that shit in a while. Okay, because he couldn't deal with Caleb's movement. So obviously that made for it to look like a good fight. And we don't need to talk about the scorecards or what the commentators for, because we already know they were biased towards Canelo. People had him up somehow. I don't know how they had him up. They must have been watching some old Canelo fight. I don't know what it was. But anyway, Caleb was making him look stupid, and Caleb would have won that fight. And to me, it just seemed like Caleb sold his belt. It's that simple. Because there's so much money riding on Canelo, right? There's too much money riding on Canelo, right? They want they've been trying to they've been making Canelo trying to make Canelo the face of boxing ever since Mayweather left. They've been on that. They've been doing that for so. It's been They've been doing it. It's been a systematic effort for him to be the face of boxing. So why is it inconceivable that Caleb Plant took a dive? Why is it inconceivable? It's not to me. Because he was doing so well until 11th round. You know, he could have just kept on boxing and moving. He could have just kept on doing what he's doing. He could have just going doing a lateral movement because Canelo couldn't catch him anyway. And we already seen the Kovalev fight, where that looked fucking fake. You know, Canelo was getting peppered by the jab, and then all of a sudden, just one hook. I think it's one hook, maybe two at the most, and then Kovalev was just dropping to the floor. He just melted to the floor. We've seen Kovalev take harder punches like that. We've seen Kovalev take harder punches than that. So anyway, he got melted. So he got melted from that. Again, what makes you think Kovalev didn't take a dive for the money? We ain't seen Kovalev since, really, have we? Have we seen Kovalev since? I can't remember. If we have, no, I don't remember. So he got paid off. Got paid a nice amount of money. And I'm sure. And I reckon Caleb's crew got paid a lot of money too. Because, like I said, so much is riding on Canelo. They weren't gonna make him lose to a guy who had 21 fights and 0 losses and 0 draws. So they gave him. So now Caleb's record is 21, 0 and 1, 201. What's 201? That's the number, but that's the number. That the Society of Jesus, the Jesuits like a lot. 201. Again, you won't know anything about 201 if you don't follow gematria. You know, follow gematria. Everything what's in the world, what's going on now, is all by the Society of Jesus, the Jesuits. Okay. Well, anyway, I don't really want to go too much into that because you can do your own studies on that. Again, go to the guys' channels and watch his stuff. But anyway, yeah, the more I think about it, the more to me it was rigged. You know, the ref. So he got knocked down from a punch. Yeah, cool. He got knocked down. Cool. He didn't seem too hurt about it. He got up. You know, ran to the corner, ran back. Cool. And you know, and then punches toward and the second knockdown. Then punches. Yeah, I'm not saying that they didn't connect. Of course, they connected. But what I'm saying is, if someone's right, Caleb wasn't really taking many hard shots that night at all. So, is it really inconceivable to have an agreement to say, right, okay, in the later rounds, Canelo's going to come on, maybe the 11th round, maybe the 12th round, and pull it on you, and basically don't really defend yourself, just drop. Is it that inconceivable? No, it fucking ain't. Okay. So people don't have like people think that taking a dive is when you get like punched not properly, not hard enough, and you just go and you just fucking melt to the floor. No, it isn't. You can take a dive by purposely not defending yourself, right, and then going down, so it looks realistic. Caleb took about two good flush shots on the second knockdown. I think one was an uppercut and one was a hook. So yeah, so it made it look like it was a genuine knockout. Also, why didn't the referee give the champion a chance to get back up. You let Tyson Fury get up numerous times. This is the same referee. You let Tyson Fury get up numerous times. You know? But anyway. Yep, the more I think about it, the more I think that it was definitely 100% rigged. Because there's just too much money on Canelo. And the people behind Canelo, they've got the money to pay off fighters to take, you know, to throw the fight. They've got enough money to do that. The promoters got, you know, they've got enough money. People, they got enough money to do that. Because they can pay Caleb however much he wanted, but obviously Canelo's gonna get more money on top of that now because now he's undisputed. The first Mexican ever to be undisputed at 168. I think he's the first Mexican ever on 168. I'm sure is, but yeah, the first undisputed in 168 for a while. Yeah, was it? Who else has been undisputed? Was it the 160? But what was Andre Ward? Andre Ward was 168, wasn't he? Whatever. Oh, I forgot. But anyway, yeah. So, yeah. So, they had to make Canelo make history by any means possible. That's why Canelo's being guided through very carefully up to this position. His opponents are being picked very, very carefully. Okay? Very, very carefully his opponents are being picked. You know? Like, it's not by accident. So it's going to be very interesting to see what he does for me in there. Very, very interesting. But it's just a shame to see someone, you know. But that's sports for you, innit? You know, people will sell their bouts or whatever. It's not a big deal. Some, you know. But it's a shame for like the fans who are watching it, who genuinely think that everything's on the up and up, or you know, Caleb was winning the fight. They were never going to give it to him though anyway. And they probably didn't want to, and they probably didn't want it to go 12 rounds anyway. They probably didn't want to go to decision. They wanted a dramatic knockout, right, for a dramatic storyline, which is the being undisputed at 168. There we go. So to me, it was rigged, and that's all I got to say. And I'm out.